Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Monday, April 6, 2020, and we are again in the first day of the trading week and the final hour of the trading day. I mention this each day, but I think it's worth repeating because I think it's quite important, but I do make the majority of my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day, right before the market closes. The reason for this is during the daytime, during the regular part of the market, the day traders and the algorithms are in charge of the prices. They are the ones moving the prices around. At the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions coming in with size. In my opinion, they have the best technology. They're dealing with the most money. They have very smart people. And they take control away from the day traders and the algorithms and move it at the end of the day to what, in my opinion, is the most valid prices to make your buying and selling decisions from. So thank you everybody for coming today. I always look forward to seeing everyone. I think we have such a great group with great insight, great comments, great poems. And I just think it's a fun little community here for us. And so I'm grateful for everyone, grateful that everyone comes by. And thank you. So, well, we are having quite a day today. The Dow Jones is up a mere 1,213 points, up about 5.7%. NASDAQ is up 417 points, up 5.6%. And the S&P is up 138.4%, up about 5.56%. So really strong day. Looks like some numbers are coming in with our current situation, and I think some of the cases are going down. So that is positive. Whatever it is, glad to see that they're going down. I'm glad to see that the market's going up today. So will it hold? Well, that's the question, right? We've seen this before, so we're going to have to be careful, moving forward here today. So Dan is here. Hi, Dan. Good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. Hi, Kamal. Good chatting with you earlier. Kamal and I chat on Skype during the mornings and kind of get a feel for what each other's doing. But thank you for coming by, Kamal. Muhammad is here. Hello, sir. Nice to have you. Appreciate you being here. Muhammad says, hi, Greg. Hi, fellow traders. Hello, Muhammad. Zach says, hello, Greg and friends. Hey, Zach. Good to have you here. Hope you had a good weekend. Bob is here. Hi, Bob. Good to see you. Always great to see Bob. Miko, good afternoon, everyone. Miko 25, good afternoon to you, and look forward to our lesson tonight. 5:30 your time, 6:30 my time. So always look forward to teaching in the evening time. And Frank is here. Hey, Frank. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you're doing well. And thank you so much for coming by as always. Okay, well, this is the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, what methodology I was using, what I was thinking when I bought them, and then, of course, how I'm going to manage them going forward. Very important. After that, some of you have had some trades that you've shared with me, so we will take a look at those and we'll see how those are doing. After that, we're going to talk about trader psychology. As you know, most important skill, in my opinion, that you can learn, learning how to follow your plan. It's important to be able to understand technical analysis. It's good and important to be able to form a plan, look for signals, entries, exits, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, my opinion, the most important skill that you can have is being able to follow that plan and not deviate from that plan. And that it's easier said than done, but when fear and greed start coming into your emotions, makes you want to get out of your trade before you're supposed to, or take profits before you're supposed to. All sorts of stuff goes on. In my opinion, in my experience, the best way to stick with your plan, really the best way, it's pretty simple. Reduce your position size till you get to a point to where the position size matters to you, but maybe not so much. But more importantly, it gets to a position size where you can follow your plan. That's the right position size for you, honestly, for everyone, is the position size that lets them follow their plan. So we're going to do a few minutes on that. After that, we are going to go down through my watch list. I have 3 requirements whenever I look to enter a new position. Requirement number 1, I look for a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up. I look at that as a combination of different groups of buyers lining up. And in order to put yourself in the best position to have a profitable trade, it's important to be in the company with as many other groups of buyers as possible. So therefore, if you have a confluence of 2 or 3 or 4 indicators lining up, such as MACD or RSI, ATR channels, I look at that as 2, 3, or 4 different groups of buyers. And again, putting yourself in with as many other buyers will give you the best chance to have a profitable trade. So that's requirement number 1. Number 2, very important, always very important to make sure you have a good risk to reward ratio. It's super important. You need to be able to make more to the upside than you are potentially losing to the downside based upon some realistic resistance levels above you, like RSI levels or ATR channels or moving averages. Compared to what your support is below you, which the support also may be moving averages, RSIs. So that is very important. And then thirdly, most important to me in this particular market environment is making sure your positions are not too highly correlated. Have some diversification in the different type of industries and the different type of stocks that you are buying. And then lastly, account heat is super important. You know, even if I have the most uncorrelated positions in history, I'm still never going to put more than 60% of my account at risk. And that one little filter that I have has saved so much money this year. And by the way, 60% is my maximum. Doesn't mean you have to have 60. That's not a rule, right? That's my maximum. So anyway, going to go down through the watch list. I have already identified a few potentials for today. We'll go through all those potentials at the end of the day, right before the market closes. I'll go through them with even a more fine-tooth comb, try to whittle it down to the very best one of the day. Everything considered, risk to reward, confluence of setups, time frames, you know, how does it look on the daily? How does it look on the weekly? So that is the plan. And then after that, after the market closes, if anybody has any questions whatsoever, please let me know. I'm happy to clarify anything I discussed today. If you would like me to take a look at any particular symbols, I'm happy to give you my humble opinion. If there are any signals that you would like to get my opinion on before the market closes and you think they'd be helpful for the group or helpful for you, hey, there we go. Hit a profit target on gold. We'll look at that in a second. Then put them in the chat, put the symbol in the chat, and I will make sure you put a star by it so I know it's time sensitive, and I'll do my very best to get to it and give you my take on it before the market closes. So, all right, well, that's the plan. So hang tight. I'm going to run that U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. Thanks. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, so Joe is here. Good to see you, Joe. I think Joe has a poem for us. Always look forward to those. Let's take a look. People wonder when they send out their text asking me what the market will do next. The low took out the high and you thought it was theft. The market will hit bottom when there's no sellers left. So good. People wonder when they send out their text asking me what the market will do next. The low took out the high and you thought it was theft. The market will hit bottom when there's no sellers left. That is true. That is when the market does turn up, Joe, right? As you know, when you run out of sellers, that's when it goes the other way. When you run out of buyers, that's when it goes down. Thanks, Joe. Thank you so much. Always really just on point as far as it seems like Joe and Frank's poems are like made specifically for what's going on in the particular day. Hey, Steve Burns, good to see you, my friend. Always great to have you here. Always an honor to have you in the chat. Really, I truly mean it. So great to be able to rub shoulders with the great Steve Burns and all the great books he's written, his great website, newtraderu.com, his weekly or his 3 times weekly video newsletter. I subscribe to myself, watched it last night, and I think it's very important. So if you haven't gone over there, you should. I'm scared because of YouTube to share any websites. I don't know if that's why I was in jail, but I'm a little scared. But newtraderu.com, please go over there and check it out. I think it's worth your while. Steve says, your daily psychology lessons may be the most important thing to teach in this market environment. I agree. I mean, the more you're in this business, the more you understand how psychology really is the most important. As a matter of fact, I did a podcast today with Alpha Mind. They went through some of their previous guests and got their take on the market and how I'm adjusting to it and so forth and so on. So I'll share that when that comes out. But that's pretty much what I was talking about as well, Steve, was just the importance of the psychology and sticking with your plan. Bastian Zurin is here. Hello, nice to see you. I appreciate you coming by. Thank you. Frank says, Frank has a poem for us. Will the market have a V recovery? With stocks adrift in price discovery, will they soar high or will they go low? With patience and time, we will know. For now, we're all dressed up with no place to go. That's great. One more time. Will the market have a V recovery? Will stocks adrift in price discovery? Will they soar high or will they go low? With patience and time, we will know. For now, we're all dressed up with no place to go. Yes, that's so good. I'll tell you, I hope Frank and Joe can someday put out a trading book. I mean, you've written so many poems. We have them here documented, so more like just compiling them. I'll tell you what, I think people would buy this 100%. But thank you, Frank. Marco, hey, Greg. Hey, buddy, good to see you. Hope you're having a nice evening in Slovenia and hope you're doing well and safe and healthy and all that. Thanks for coming, buddy. Joshua, hey, Greg, and all. I found you through Alpha Mind, looking forward to the new podcast. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You did. Yeah, it was really quick. It was only about 15 minutes, but they were going through all their past guests. And yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. So I'm glad you found me through that, Josh. It is a great it is a good podcast, a really great podcast. So, all right, well, let's take a look, see what's happening. Very thankful and grateful to have a really good day today. So let's see what's happening. So I did buy Apple back here on the 2nd of April. I bought it with this higher low V1. And we made a lower low. We rallied into the value zone. We had a bit of a sell-off. You can see the V1 that I took out the previous day's low, closed above the previous day's close. Liked at the location of where this triggered, halfway between here and here. Roughly halfway. It got down halfway and then closed above, so that's good. Also liked that it rejected the 250-day moving average and also rejected the -1 ATR channel. So I talk about looking for confluences of signals. Well, that was the confluence of signals. V1, rejection, higher low V1, rejection of the -1 ATR channel, rejection of the 250-day. So anyway, bought that at 244.90. Now it's at 256.08. That's up 6% today, which I'm very happy for. Did take out one profit target today at 251.40. Getting pretty close to that second profit target. Don't know if we'll hit it or not. My plan going forward on this particular trade now will be a rejection of the 50 RSI if it keeps going up, or at this point, a close below the 200-day, right? I don't want to let it go all the way back. Like I could, if I wanted to, use the 250-day moving average as my stop, but it's moved up pretty nice. and moved up, especially above the 200-day. So to me, if it loses the 200-day again, then it seems like we've just, it's been a one-day wonder kind of a thing. So it'd be nice if we hit that second profit, or if I hit that second profit target by the end of the day, mainly just to take a little more shares off the table, right? So if it does go down, it mitigates it. But anyway, 257.29, it got as high as 256.73. So it's got some work to do still. But again, going forward, if it rejects the 50 RSI to the upside in coming days, I will get out. My ultimate profit target is up here at the 50-day moving average, the downward sloping 50-day moving average, or a trailing stop close below the 200-day moving average. Gold. So gold has been an interesting trade for me. I bought gold back here on the 26th of March with the 520 crossover. This is a good back-tested approach. It doesn't always work, but the good thing about moving average crossover trades is they tend to get you out fairly quickly if you're wrong, and they tend to hold you in for a long time if you're right, which is the important part of trading, right? Cutting your losses quickly, letting your profits run. So my trade plan on this was, if it went up, rejected the 70 RSI, I would get out. If it went down and the price closed below both the 5 and the 20, which are the moving average crossovers that I use to take the trade, I would sell half the position. The second half I would trade mechanically with the 5 EMA closing below the 20. So I did have to get out here and sell half for a loss, but in this particular case, doesn't always work out like this, right? It's just kind of whatever you're comfortable with. But for me, using these 50-50 exits on the moving average crossovers really makes sense to me. Getting out quickly if the price closes below the both moving averages that you use to cross, and then transferring over to the mechanical for the second half. But anyway, so far 5 is still above the 20. That's why I held it. Did hit 2 profit targets today on gold, so I'm very thankful for that, and actually got above the entry price, which I'm also thankful for that. So next stop, I'll be looking for a rejection of the 70 RSI. If I have a rejection of the 70 RSI, I could get out there, lock in profits. Also, if I had a big reversal bar where it gapped up and reversed back down, I could also take some profits there. Goldman Sachs. All right, so I bought this back on April 2nd. Similar to Apple, where we made a lower low, we rallied into the value zone, we came down, we had this nice reversal bar here. We had a V1, here's day 1, day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1, closes above day 1's close. That's one indicator. Second indicator is that we rejected the downward sloping -1 ATR channel. That's also good. Another cherry on top here was we had a gap down. And if you have a gap down, if in the next 3 days you can go higher than the gap down's high, that is historically a good signal, and it did that as well. So, and we had a bullish engulfing bar with MACD being green. Anyway, my stop on this was halfway of the washout bar, a close below halfway of the washout bar. You can see Friday, it touched that almost exactly, pegged that 50%, but then closed above it. That is why I kept the trade. Did hit 1 profit target today. It's up 5.87%, so I'm very grateful for that. My initial profit target here is the 50 RSI. If it rejects the 50 RSI, I will get out. My ultimate profit target here is the 3rd ATR channel. Once it moves more than 1 ATR above my entry, I will start to trail this with a trailing stop. Then lastly, world famous SPY trade. I do buy this. I'm sorry, I apologize. You hear this every day, but in case we have some new viewers, I do want to quickly go over this. But I do buy the SPY ETF tracking of the S&P 500 every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I sell it first thing the next morning. This has nothing to do with technical levels, oversold, overbought, moving averages, anything. It's just a different approach to trading, and it has good backtested results. This is from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. With this approach, they tested 2 different approaches every day since 1993. First approach was buying the SPY at the open, holding it through the day, selling it at the close. If you use this approach every day since 1993, you'd return a negative 13.9%. However, if you did the opposite, which is what I do, I've been doing this for over a year, buy the SPY at the close, right at the close, hold overnight, sell first thing the next morning. This approach, back tested 1993, actually returned a positive 634.2%. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. That is true, but using the back test, the holding overnight, selling in the morning, you can see has had dramatically more impressive results than the buy in the morning and sell in the afternoon. Recently, in the short term, the buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon actually outperformed this. And I know that for sure because I've been on the opposite side of that trade. But, taking a large sample size, you can see over time, this has been shown to have an edge. Going forward, who knows? You never know because past performance, no guarantee of future results. But if I'm going to allocate money towards something, I'm going to allocate it towards something that has a good back-tested track record, and this does. You can see nice equity curve, but there are some pretty dramatic drawdowns in between, and I have been going through one of these in 2020. 2019 was fantastic, rainbows and butterflies and money, and this year not so hot. Not so hot, but again, I position size with a small amount of my capital. I'm in this for the long term. I'm going to ride out the ups and the downs. So with that being said, very grateful for this trade. Bought this on Friday at 248.19 and sold it almost $10 higher today at 258.05. So that was a nice little get right there. So definitely still down for the year using this approach, but through here that helped recover, and then today was a big day. So anyway, I will be buying this again at the end of the day, holding it overnight, selling it first thing tomorrow morning. Hey, Ramble Ron is here. Hey, Ramble, good to see you, my friend. Always nice to have you here and to see you. Gamer, hey, Greg and all. CCL running high today. Oh, man, don't I know it. I was looking at buying CCL on Friday. I had my finger on the button, but I just didn't get the trigger. Anyway, we'll go through that in a minute. Yeah, unfortunately, right? The regret of following your rules. Oh, well, that's how it goes. Okay, Cisco. Kamal did buy Cisco on the weekly. Always a good idea. Vary up your trades. Use different time frames. I like this trade on Cisco that Kamal bought. He bought it on Friday when the weekly closed above the 200. So, why do you think he did that? Well, look, it moved up. It tested this 200 week as support. If he's wrong, he can be wrong quite small with just a close below the 200 day, right? It's all about risk to reward. If he's right, he has up to the 50 RSI or the 50-day moving average. So it's a good risk to reward ratio. So Kamal's up about 4.45% today. So congrats, Kamal. Bing He did buy Clorox back here on the 27th of March. He bought it at 175.05. It's kind of up and down and up, but it's been more up than down. So currently it's at 180.36. He bought it at 175.06. So congratulations, Bing He, on a nice profitable trade there. Okay, Bing He also he bought RWM, which is actually a short ETF. So if the market goes down, the price is going to go up. Obviously, the market's up big today, so you would expect this to go down. So he bought it at 51.62. Market went up, and so this one's down pretty big today. So sorry about that one, Bing He. Let me know if there's any changes. Also shorted CoStar Group. Bing He shorted CoStar Group back here at 528. He ended up in the money on Friday a little bit, but today it's up 10%. So yeah, that's a tough one there, Bing He. So just make sure you have a plan there, I hope. And Bing He also sent me a chart here of GSX. He was interested in shorting this. My first thought when I saw this was I feel like it's a little late in the game to short this. Doesn't mean with that logic that I would go ahead and buy this, but you know, you're getting down to the low 30s. You're getting down to some major support down here of the negative 30 ATR channel and the 100 upward sloping 100-day moving average. So I would be a little concerned about shorting that as well. Okay. Joe Turner, a short on Gush in June of 2015 would have been $1 million move. Gush, I've never heard of that. Oh my. Oh my. So this looks like a 3 times leveraged on oil and gas exploration. Clever stock symbol. You know, when I was in the chewing gum business, our company was public, and our stock symbol was GUMM. That's pretty good too, right? Wow, how about that? Well, you can see it has finally found some support down here. Huh, interesting. Kamal says UAL and DAL. Okay, UAL. You know, I kind of like UAL today. Kamal pointed this out to me. You know, you can see here we have this V2. Here's day 1. Here's day 2. Here's day 3. Day 2 washes out day 1. Day 3 closes above day 1's close. We also went under 30, over 30 in the last couple days. That is kind of some contributing positive factors. If we look over on the weekly is at the 6-day TR channel, but I think the more important part here is that we have been moving sideways and finding some support. Where here it was just down, 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 now moving sideways. So I am somewhat interested in buying this higher low V2 with the under 30, over 30. It's only a 3203 RSI, so it gives me a pretty tight stop with the close back under 30. And then DAL is Delta. Delta I don't quite like as much. For one, we have not confirmed the V1, and we are not above the 30 RSI. Where UAL, you can see, right, the V1 has not triggered. We have and we have not gone under 30, over 30. Well, we were over 30, but now we're back under. Where UAL has both, has a confirmed V2, under 30, over 30. MACD is positive, and I might point out is up 5.38% today. So, you know, the relative strength compared to Delta, which is actually down today on up over 1,000-point day, and then UAL, quite a bit of volume here today too. Gamer, I bought a small position on Friday when you were about to do it. I just hit the trigger. I realized that it did not cross the RSI. But you got it? Fantastic. Fantastic. You know, that's the thing when you have rules. You know, let's look at CCL. Okay. Look, I love this setup if you remember, right? We had a low, we had a rally, we have a double bottom with a beautiful bullish divergence, missing right shoulder. I just needed the trigger. The trigger was to go under 30, over 30, and I think it ended up at like 29.50 or 29.54, and I didn't take it. And sometimes, you know, when you follow your rules, you're gonna have regrets from following your rules, and then sometimes you're not gonna follow your rules, and you're gonna have regrets there. So it's just how it happens. If it happens to you, you know, just let it slide off. You know, like water off a duck's back. I mean, the other trades will come around, but I'm so happy for you, Gamer Squad. Congrats, my friend. You know what I'm really looking for on Carnival now is we had the low, we had the rally, we had the lower low. I mean, the equal to low. What I'd really love to see now, and we have earnings. Hey, by the way, Gamer, earnings are tomorrow. Hope you realize that. What I'd like to see is coming into the value zone, a pullback, get a higher low V1 in the value zone after we had a double bottom with the bullish divergence. Kerry Lavorne, who taught me this, his favorite setup is when you have a low, You rally, you have an equal to or lower low with a double bottom with a bullish divergence. Then you move into the value zone. You have a pullback and you get a higher low V1 or V2 after the double bottom with the bullish divergence. So that's what I'll be looking for. Can't step in right now and take a directional position because earnings are tomorrow. Bing He, hi Greg, not my day again. Got to cover back GSGP lately. Yeah, I know. Sorry, buddy. I saw that. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Darn it. Darn it. Well, at least your Clorox is up today, and you have had some good trades last week. But yeah, I'm sorry to see that, Bing He. And I talked about GSX that I don't think I would be shorting here. I'm not telling you what to do. Obviously, I'm just giving you my opinion. Yeah, it does kind of look weak long term, but as from a short position, I probably would rather wait for a rally before I got in and shorted it. Okay, so listen, this is the time of the day where I do like to talk about trader psychology, you know, there's some really good Facebook pages, some really good Twitter pages out there that do a great job and a service to all of us by posting good trading words of wisdom, great quotes on trading psychology and discipline and all that kind of stuff. Oh, hey, I hit my second Apple limit order. Fantastic. I'll take a look at that in a second. You know, one of my favorite ones out there, our good friend Steve Burns, friend of the show, in the chat with us right now. So grateful for that. But I saw this today, and you know, like I said, I was on the Alpha Mind podcast earlier today with Steven and Mark, and they were asking me, you know, what are you learning from this market sell-off? You know, are there any positives to it? How are you adjusting your positions, your trading style? And when I saw this earlier today, I was like, you know, I'm going to talk about that on the podcast, and I want it on both the podcast with Alpha Mind and then also today our podcast. Steve is quoting Ray Dalio here, and it's so true. Pain plus reflection equals progress. Right? A lot of us have had a lot of pain. A lot of people have had a lot of pain in trading this year, 100%. But, you know, if you have pain, you make mistakes with trading or anything in life, if you reflect on it, learn from it, then you have some progress. But you have to kind of put yourself out there, lay yourself bare, be honest with yourself. Look at, you know, the trading mistakes you made, which might be, okay, really, it wasn't quite a good setup. I really didn't have a trigger. Oh, I used too high of a position size. Oh, thinking back on it, maybe I did get caught up in the emotions and the fear of missing out. Look, it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. It happens to all traders, but at least be honest with yourself and reflect back on that pain and what caused that pain, and then learn from it and move forward. So pain plus reflection equals progress. And it really is true in trading and anything else. So thanks so much for posting that, Steve. Short and sweet, but you know, really helpful and a lot of wisdom in this short little sentence. So thanks, bud. Appreciate that. Bing He says, CCL earnings may not be tomorrow, should be June 30th. I was looking at CCL earlier today. Oh, are they? Thanks for pointing that out. You can see here on my chart it says tomorrow, but I didn't double check. That. I don't think I would buy this here anyway today. Who knows? Could be good, but really, I mean, it's up 22%. What I really would like to see is, now that we have the double bottom with the bullish divergence, I'd like to see this move into the value zone, have a pullback, look for that higher low V1 or V2. Bob says, I think CCL earnings were Friday. Oh, they've already passed? Oh, I wonder why this didn't update. Anyway, thank you two for letting me know. Look, I mean, it did go under 30, over 30 today. It could be worse, right? I mean, it's pretty decent, but I don't know. I just want to be a little patient with it. And I kind of like UAL. And I kind of like UAL a little better. And I'm not going to buy UAL and Carnival on the same day because they're in that leisure travel kind of situation. Ramble says, we have not seen the market sell off yet. Very possible. Very possible. But, Ron, and everyone out there, keep an open mind about whether we're at a bottom or at a top. Yes, keep an open mind that we have not seen the bottoms. Yes, 100%. But also keep an open mind that maybe we have, right? So, I mean, if your mindset, and you may be 100% right, Ron. I'm not saying anything wrong about that, but I'm just in bigger picture. What I'm trying to say is, keep an open mind that we haven't seen the bottom, but also keep an open mind that we have kept seen the bottom. Because if we have seen the bottom, but you think we haven't seen the bottom, then you're never going to take another trade because you think we haven't seen the bottom. And what about if it is a bottom? Then you're going to miss all these trades. Now, on the other hand, don't think that we have a bottom in. Don't think, how should I say this? Keep an open mind that we may have not seen the bottom either. Right? And that will help you not to take too many trades. Anyway, so hope you understand what I was saying there. But you're right, Ron. We could possibly have not seen the market yet, right? But we could have. Be open-minded about both situations. Thanks, Greg. Dalio's 20% drawdown in March continued his pain and progress. Yeah, that's pretty tough. Yeah, Ray Dalio, I mean, one of the best traders, largest hedge fund in the world, had a 20% drawdown. So listen, if you haven't had a 20% drawdown, at least this year, you've done better than Ray Dalio. That's something. Steve Burns says, Delta Airlines says it is burning through $60 million in cash every day. Forecasts 90% fall in revenue in the second quarter. Yep. I know. I've read the same thing. I have definitely read the same thing. Steve says, the market is not under accumulation or distribution. It is just being run now by very short-term traders. 100%. I totally agree. So that's why, very careful. Well, I'll tell you what, before we look at possible entries today, here's my little reminder to myself and to everyone else. Please choose wisely today, by Diana Cooper. I don't know who Diana is, but she's awesome because she posted this great post here, but doesn't hurt to read this or say this 3 times before I start looking at potentials. Choose wisely today, Greg. Choose wisely today, Greg. Choose wisely today, Greg. And just, that dovetails with what Steve is saying, right? Really not under accumulation, really not under distribution, just a lot of whipsaws, a lot of emotions. So, want to take that into consideration, not get caught up in FOMO, and be very select. So let's take a look at some of these. Glenn says, hey, bud, good to see you. Ron says, no one has a job anymore. Unemployment going to the sky. This is true. Glenn says, hi, Greg. Looks like the market is hitting a high, not the low on the time cycle. Looking for a move to 2750, 2800 now before next leg down. Very possible. I was doing some charting this weekend, looking at the S&P and trend lines and all that kind of stuff. And if we go down, just my opinion, doesn't mean anything. But I think we could definitely go somewhere between 2,000 down to even 1,600 long term. Maybe even 1,800. Take the midpoint on there. So. Yeah, I'm very open to the fact that the market may go way down, but I also have to be open to the fact that maybe we get a bounce here. Steve says, I agree, Greg. Traders must stay open to follow their signals, whatever they can. Anything can happen, and we can't miss the move. Yeah, if we only take one, we only have one position. Like the market has to go down or it has to go up. We're going to miss moves, right? So keep an open mind to either. All right, how are we doing on time? All right, just a real quick look here. Okay, so I did hit the second profit target. Well, interestingly enough, I may have to watch Apple here at the end of the day. We're now at a 49.04 RSI. If we reject the 50 today, boom, I'm out, right? So I'm going to have to watch this towards the end of the day. But 2 profit targets today. Unbelievable to hit 2 profit targets. It had to go up 15 points. GLD. Did hit 2 profit targets here today. This doesn't look like it's in any jeopardy of rejecting the 70 RSI. Goldman Sachs, 44.78. So anyway, not really too concerned about the 50 RSI. And SPY, nice overnight SPY trade. Pretty scary buying it at the end of the day, but right, that's my process. I just have to do it. Okay. So, current potentials looking forward here. Amazon has moved sideways, formed this range, which is good. We know about sideways ranges. They usually break out either to the upside or the downside. We just don't know which direction. It's at a 55 RSI, 55, 59 RSI. It broke strongly above the 50-day moving average, which is positive. But on Amazon, going forward here, the approach that I'm going to use on Amazon to kind of keep me out of some of this whipsaw is I'm using the 550 simple moving average as my crossover. It's a good way to filter out a lot of whipsaw action, a lot of noise. It's not quite there. And when it does happen, I may not be able to take it if it's too high up in the ATR channels. So anyway, I'm just going to pass on this trade right now. It'll be frustrating if the 5 crosses over the 50 and it's way up here and I don't take it and it keeps going up, but that's just part of trading, right? Ideally, if it could come back down, move sideways, 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 and then have the crossover and not be too extended, then I would take it. But anyway, so that is my plan on Amazon, waiting for the 550 SMA crossover. That's a good back tested approach. Carnival, so glad for David. I'm so glad for David. He had a 21% move up today. But again, beautiful double bottom with a bullish divergence. Red MACD bars, rally, equal to or lower low, low with no red MACD bars. That's better than even a little red, right? This is called the missing right shoulder. I missed it yesterday because it didn't go over 30, and that's how it goes. So anyway, I'm not going to chase here. I don't like we're in the halfway of this see the big bar down? See about halfway is right about where we are now. If you go back over here, I'm just going to wait for this to move into the value zone, have a day or two back, look for that higher low V1 or V2. That's my plan. Or possibly testing this low again with like a V1 or something like that. Disney up nicely today. So listen, this technically is a higher low V2. Here's day 1, here's day 2. Day 2 washes out day 1. Looks like it's going to close above day 1's close. We did have this monster gap, which would invalidate a V2, but we did intraday come back down and close most of it and then go back up, which makes it valid. I'm going to let this one go, and I'll tell you why. We came in, we rallied, we went back down, we rallied, we made this lower high. I'm concerned about this lower high being in front of me. Very likely the resistance is going to be right about here, which will probably dovetail right about the 50 RSI. And from a risk to reward ratio, I'd have to use about halfway of the washout bar. To me, that looks like a 1-to-1, maybe a little better than 1-to-1, but certainly not 2-to-1. So I'm just going to let this Walt Disney trade go. What I'd really like to see on Walt Disney, if it does, I don't know, but I'd like to see it come back down here, test this low, have that double bottom, bullish divergence, same like with Carnival Cruise Line, same situation. But of course, I don't know if it's going to get there or not. If it doesn't get there, and it keeps moving up, there's other approaches for me to take on Disney to the upside, like moving average crossovers and so forth. Facebook, beautiful V2, except for one thing. It's a higher low V2. We rallied into the value zone. We come back down. We wash out Friday's low, Thursday's low. We have a beautiful V2, but look at this monster gap. Gaps tend to get filled. That's why it's one of my filters why I'm going to pass on Facebook. IBB. So, biotech companies are definitely interesting at this moment in time. A good backtest approach on IBB to kind of filter through some of the noise of just straight moving averages is the 5 EMA crossing over the 30 EMA. You can see it's pretty close, right? But I'm going to wait for this to trigger, and hopefully when it triggers, it won't be higher than the second ATR channel, because then I won't be able to take it based upon my filters. Did cross over the, so that's the plan for me. 5 crossing over the 30 EMA on a closing basis. That would be my entry if it's not too high up into the channel. Now, it's closing above the 200. If it closes above the 200-day, could you use that as a stop? Yeah, I guess you could. I don't think it backtests all that well, though, but it does put you in a situation for a good risk to reward ratio. But anyway, I'm just going to wait for the crossover trade. Bing, he said, Greg, how did you narrow down to put CCL in your watch list yesterday? Well, I've been following it, but what I just like the beautiful double bottom with the bullish divergence and the missing right shoulder. And we have an ATR divergence. See how far we are here? We're at like 6.5 ATRs. Here, even though we're just as low, we're only at like 2.25, right? Look at the RSI here at the low, way down here. Look at the RSI here, much higher. So we have an ATR divergence, we have an RSI divergence, we have a MACD divergence. That's what I was looking for. And on the weekly, it stopped going down, which I thought was important. So that's why I added it on there. And I also wanted to add on some different industries that might be relevant to the time what's going on. Okay, cues. Well. Couple possibilities here. You know, with the close under the 250 and over the 250, that could be possible. You can see we've ran right into the resistance that was over here last time, 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago when we were near the 50. We have broken over the 50, at least right now. I'm a little concerned about buying over the 250 and having very short stop here, and then having that 200-day above me. I think what I would prefer to do with the Qs is I'm going to wait for the 520 crossover. That could literally happen tomorrow. That will give me a little bit more breathing room. But technically, if it closes over 250, sure, you could take it. It does back test well, and just get out with the close under the 250 if you're wrong. But I think what I'm going to do, because I already have positions, you know, in Apple. Oh, I forgot to go over my Apple call. Okay, I'll do that in a second. You know, I'm going to see whether or not this is a one-day wonder kind of update today. So I'm just going to be patient, wait for that 520 crossover. All right, SPY. Of course, going to buy that at the end of the day. UAL, this is a potential for today because of the higher low V2. It is up 4.24%, which, you know, is ironic because, you know, Steve just mentioned, you know, how they're burning through cash and so forth and so on. I totally get that, right? That is well known to everybody, but it is still up today. So sometimes you have bad news and the market goes up. It is good news. And, you know, obviously it's up today. So, under 30, over 30, plus a V2, higher low V2. If I do take this trade at the end of the day, it'll be very, very small position. It will be a quarter position, not 10%, not 5%, but 2.5% position. If I'm wrong, I would get out underneath the 30 RSI. Big volume today as well. And then oil. You know, I was fortunate enough to buy calls on oil right back here when we started moving sideways. Went down against me, but then of course we had the 2 rocket ship days up. I did sell half of my calls here, and I was fortunate enough to sell half of my calls here before we're down 8%. But we went under the 1 ATR channel up into the value zone. Now I'm waiting for a pullback, maybe another day, or ideally one more day down, maybe test the halfway of this movement from here to here, 50% of that move would right about be right here. And so what I'm really looking for is I'm looking for the price to come back down, test that 50% fib number, maybe try to go underneath the 1 ATR channel and back up with a higher low V1 or V2 right at the 50% fib level. So that is my plan on oil, but I just have to sit and wait this out. Okay, hey Mount Doji, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Let's take a look at silver. So silver, silver both on SLV or AGQ does backtest well with the 5 EMA crossing over the 20. You can see here 5 is at 1356, the 20 is at 13.64. So I mean, it's a big, strong day today. Big volume over the 50 RSI. That's all good. But for me, I would wait for the 5 to cross over the 20 if it were me. I mean, certainly somebody could just buy it here with the breakout, close below the 50 or the 20. But I've been looking at silver. Remember, I already have gold though, right? But I've scaled out of a lot of gold, so I would be okay taking another silver position. But I think I'm just going to give it one more day. And see what happens. And we are at the second ATR channel, which is a little high for my blood to buy it up here because, very likely it could get stuck right at the third ATR channel. So even if we do have the 520 tomorrow, I probably won't be able to take silver because we'd be too high in the channel. So that's my take. That's my take, Mount Doji. Okay, let me take a little look-see here. Did Apple reject the 50? Oh. It might have. As a matter of fact, let me cancel that limit order there in case I have to. And cancel that. Okay, that's going to let me get out of Apple if I need to. So this is really where this little tool comes in handy. I can tell you that because you can see I can measure what the RSI was at the high. Yeah, it was over 50. So Apple was over 50. It has rejected the 50. In the next 7 minutes, if this closes under 50, I will go ahead and just get out of this position. So I hope that makes sense. Now on to potentials. Carnival Cruise Line, I can't do anything with Carnival. Disney, not going to mess around with Disney right here. Facebook, we looked at that, no bueno. Qs, I am just waiting for, I am just waiting for a legitimate 520 EMA cross as long as it's not too high. So I'm going to have to let that one go also. SPY, we know what I'm doing with that one. UAL. Oh, nice going, Kamal on Cisco. That's cranking up there. And oil, yeah, nothing there. So really the only thing that looks interesting to me today, let me just make sure IBB hasn't crossed. Not crossed yet. No. 107.89, 108. Okay. Okay, Apple's back above 50, so that's a keeper. Gold with the 2 profit targets. Goldman Sachs, get on up there, baby. All right, we got 5 minutes. So I do have to keep an eye on Apple. Holy smokes. Apple is just cranking. Okay. Bing He, Greg, Apple did not reject the 50. It looked like it had to me, but not anymore. You can see right now it is above the 50. So anyway, we know for sure it's above the 50 now, but so if it closes underneath, I'll have to get rid of it. Ramble says, oh no, is that true? Well, to me it looked like it was, but now it's clearly above 50. Bing He said, sorry, Apple did hit the 50. I thought it did. I thought it did, but now there's no question whatsoever that it did. My gosh, what a tear. What is happening? I'm not complaining. Okay, well, Apple looks pretty safe so far. So my only question is here on United. On the weekly, we are back over the 6 ATR channel. Under 30, over 30, nice V2, higher low V2, good risk reward sense. Yeah, you know, I am going to buy this, but again, only a quarter position size. I'm going to be very, very conservative on this because we know how this thing can move. All right. Apple still okay over the 50 so far. All right, I'm going to go ahead and buy UAL, just a quarter position. Like I said, I have to do this in 2 accounts, so I'm going to do this so I can watch Apple a little closer at the end. Okay. And then I'll have my finger on the trigger here with Apple if it closes underneath. And it doesn't look like it's going to. All right. So Apple's holding, holding, holding. How's our Goldman Sachs doing? Good, good. Gold, good, good. SPY, I'm going to have to buy it at premium. Oh, man. Okay. We have 1 minute. Hey, the UAL trade's in the money already. That's good. Knock on wood. We have about 35 seconds. About 20 seconds. Ooh, Apple's going to be close here. It's coming off a bit. Just do my best. Some volume today on the upside. That is positive. Okay, Apple held. I didn't have to do anything with it. Okay. So, let's take a look here. All right, so SPY at 264.86. UAL 2397. All right, so for tomorrow, oh no, 264.86. Boom. And then UAL which is over here. Okay, UAL at 2397. So far so good. Right? Don't want to tempt fate, but at least so far so good. So happy with that. So Apple hit the 2 profit targets, is above the 50 RSI. My stop at this point now, closed below the 50 RSI. Trailing stop with 2 profit targets. Gold, nice 2 profit targets, did break out of this range, which is important. So I'll be looking for the 70 RSI. Goldman Sachs up strong today. Hit the nice profit target there. Be looking for the 50 RSI rejection. SPY, the nice overnight SPY trade, and then the new entry here, and then UAL close below 30 will be my stop. And that is that. So listen, if you have any comments or questions, you need any clarification on anything I discussed today, or if you'd like me to take a look at any stock symbols, I'm happy to do that. Before I do, I just want to put in my quick little daily plug, let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching, teaching, and mentoring lessons in the evening time via Skype. The lessons that I teach, they're one-on-one. It's just you and I. I teach you everything I've learned over the last 24 years as a full-time trader, everything I've learned from all my coaches and mentors like Stephen Burns and Dr. Alexander Elder and Kerry Lavorne and Larry Williams. I teach you all the setups that I use, whether we're going sideways, uptrend, downtrend, deep dip buys, higher low V1s, return to value V1s, crossovers, all sorts of stuff. We spend a lot of time on trader psychology, position sizing, and putting together a plan. So, if you're interested in taking these lessons, let me know. The lessons are $1,000. They're 5 sessions. Each session is somewhere between 2 and 3 hours, but I think it's money really well spent. I really think it's worth every penny of that $1,000. Going forward, I think you'll be able to look at any market situation and be able to come up with a plan for it. So if you're interested, I do like to speak with new students over Skype, potential students over Skype. There's no obligation whatsoever. I just want to get to know more about you, find out about your trading challenges and your goals and how you're trading, and you can ask me any questions. But I just want to make sure we're a good fit, right fit for each other as far as our goals together going forward, and then also whether our time frames set up as far as getting together for the lesson. So if you're interested, love to have that Skype call with you. Again, it's totally free, so don't worry about any pressure. You can send me an email. The email is in the description of this video here, down below in the description, or you can send me a message on Twitter. And it'll be nice to meet you, put a face with the name, and have that Skype call. So if you're interested, please reach out to me. And then, if you like today's podcast, if you like today's content, if you find it's helpful for you, I really would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It does help build the channel and let YouTube know that, there's some valuable content on here. And I think there's a lot of people out there that could definitely use a little bit of good teaching of good trading principles, especially in this market. So if you wouldn't mind, be so kind, hit that thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. Joshua says SPY just ripping up. Yes, it did. Dr. Jordan said not good for Boris. 1 week into the disease, probably started with the pulmonary aspect now. Hope they have some antivirals for him. Ramble says UK Prime Minister is in intensive care after coronavirus symptoms worsen. Oh boy, that's not good. Dr. Jorgensen says maybe Trumpster can spare some of his hydroxychloroquine for him. Yeah, well, I hope they have something. Kamal says I sold UAL puts for next week. Oh, did you? Interesting. Okay. So Kamal took a bullish position, but he expressed it in puts instead of the directional trade. Kamal, UAL 21 puts. That's a pretty good idea, actually. That's a pretty good idea. So Kamal sold some puts down to 21, expiring April 7th. If it doesn't get down to 21, he keeps the premium, and he got $1.50. That's pretty good. Good hike, good trading today. Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it. Bing He says cut loss for CSGP, took up UAL at 23.99. UAL very good with V1, V2, 30 RSI bounce. Okay, so we did get rid of CSGP. Yeah, that's a tough trade, buddy. Sorry. And Bing He also took UAL. All right. Mohammed says, I understand that the tech indicators work as self-fulfilling prophecy, so I need to see what others see. Am I right? Accordingly, what is the common setting of the ATR channel, exponential or simple? Yeah, you know, Mohammed, that really is my theory on indicators working, that they are self-fulfilling prophecies, right? People see, oh, it's down to the 200-day, or it's not quite down to the 200-day, so I'm not going to buy it. And everyone else is saying, I'm not going to buy it. And then when it gets down to the 200, I think, okay, I'm going to buy it now. And everyone else thinks, okay, I'm going to buy it now. And that's what makes it work. So I do think there's a lot of truth to that. So what you're saying is, so I need to see what others see. Correct. Accordingly, what is the common setting on the ATR channels, exponential or simple? You know, Mohammed, I have found that on the ATR channels, the default setting is the exponential. But I use the simple just because I have the option to use the simple. A lot of platforms that I've seen, you do not have the option to use the simple. You have to use the exponential. So, you know, I use the simple. It doesn't mean it's better than exponential. It's just something I've used for years. So, you know, if the only option you have is for exponential, then that's fine. That's fine as well. Bing He, Greg, regarding GSX, I did so much analysis, but yet it didn't work out for today. I always tend to overwork myself and not rewarded. Maybe is my life. No, Bing He, don't sell yourself short on that. You know, not all trades work out, no matter how much time and work you put into them. You know, I talked about this earlier, and yeah, I mean, it's down strong, no doubt about it, but I'm not saying that it can't go down further. But all I'm saying is, from a short position, maybe a little late to the game, right? It's down so much. If it were me, I would be looking to short on a rally rather than on weakness. I hope that makes sense. And you know, if we look at GSX on the weekly, you see how we're back in the value zone now and we're moving sideways. So, you know, to me on the weekly chart, it looks like we are starting to get a little bit of support. Now, that being said, you know, you've heard me talk about, if you have a bar that's larger than one ATR coming into the value zone, very likely it goes back down to the negative one. Not all the time. I want to be clear, not all the time, but more times than not, more than 50%, I have noticed that. But being that we've in the value zone now, we were very overbought up here. Now at least we're in the value zone and moving sideways, and we're a bit oversold here on the daily. And you have the 100-day moving average, and you have the negative third ATR channel acting as some potential support. To me, it just doesn't look like the place to short. But I could be totally wrong. This could just go crashing down tomorrow. But don't get down on yourself, bud. You put in the work. Some of them work for you. Some of them don't work for you. You know that, Bing He. You've had some pretty good trades in the past as well. So, you know, try to keep positive about it. Just know every trade doesn't work. All right. Looks like we have some rain coming. Okay. All right, so it looks like Apple's down after hours. Gold's up a little bit. Goldman Sachs is about, this is unchanged. S&P's down 23% or 25 cents, not percent. And UAL is down 5 cents. So anyway, look, I feel pretty good about the lineup that I have. I do have a little tech and some very profitable on this trade so far with the 2 profit targets. So take those 2 profit targets off. You know, going forward here, I have 2 potentials, right? I could use, if I wanted to give it some more room, I could give it to a close below the 200-day. If I wanted to have a little closer stop, a close under 50, and that's probably what I'm going to go with. Gold's just fantastic. Broke out over this range on a lot of volume. I mean, my gosh, what was that, up $42 today? That's a huge move in gold. So anyway, grateful for the 2 profit targets on that. I'll be looking for the 70 RSI above. Goldman Sachs, the 1 profit target. Again, I'll be looking for a rejection of the 50 RSI above. Or did it move more? Did not move more than 1 ATR for my entry. So no trailing stop yet. SPY, buying up that high was pretty tough, but glad for the overnighter. And then UAL, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's the only trade I entered, new trade I entered today, and only with the quarter position. Wow, what a day. Unbelievable. I wanted to point out that Kamal, when he called the bottom, was only 1 day off of the bottom. That's pretty impressive, Kamal. Does everyone remember that? Kamal called the bottom. It was just 1 day off of the bottom. And if you've been trading for a while, you know how difficult it is to even call 10 days off of the bottom, let alone 1. So nice call on that. Bing He said, my side also raining now is 4:10 a.m. Oh my goodness, that is early. That is early, Bing He. Yeah, Bing He had a tough one today with those two. With those 2 for sure, with the 2 short positions. But on the bright side, at least Clorox went up for him. But I appreciate you getting up early, being here with this, man. That means a lot, buddy. It really does. And keep your chin up. Keep positive. Keep positive. Kamal, very, very nice move. 6% on Cisco. Fantastic, my friend. Okay, and I like that. I like the puts on UAL that Kamal sold. That makes sense. Let's see, where's the $21 level? Yep. So we've got about 5% protection. So, you know, he got nice premium on that. Jeff Stump, hey, hello, Bing He. You just catch a wrong wave. Try next time. That's right, Jeff. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, sometimes, you know, sometimes we're just not in phase with the market. As a matter of fact, every time you lose money in the market, it's because you're not in phase with what's going on, right? We try to get back in phase, and sometimes we go from one phase to the next phase, and it goes to a next phase, right? And that's what's happened. It's very difficult to trade this market this year. Extremely difficult. There's just no rhyme or reason. So much emotion. You know, the market's never dealt with a planned recession, right? I read that the other day, and it made a lot of sense. It's a planned recession. We've never dealt with such a thing. But thanks for that, Jeff Stump. I appreciate that. Yep, need to give some encouragement to Bing He. All right, did anybody else take any other trades today? Any updated trades they want me to put up on the board? Wow, we had a great group today. Had a really great group. And I'm so glad that Gamer had Carnival Cruise. Yeah, that's going to be the one that got away. I really wanted to buy that. You remember I had my finger on the trigger. I was just ready to buy that thing, but it didn't quite close over 30, and so I missed it. That'd have been pretty sweet, but that's how it goes. Oh, things are off a little bit after hours, so okay. Well, one other thing I wanted to show you as well was APA, which is another beautiful double bottom here with a bullish divergence. How we have the bottom with very deep bars. We rally into some green bars. We come back down, test that bottom with green bars. That's called the double bottom with the bullish divergence. Now, could I have bought that? Well, I don't really quite see what my entry signal would be, but with this double bottom with the bullish divergence in the rear view mirror, now that we're in the value zone, a pullback a day or two down and a higher low V1, V2 after we've had a double bottom with the bullish divergence, really sweet setup. Of course, doesn't mean it's going to win every time, but that's what I'm definitely going to be looking for. Oh yeah, I guess you could have took the under 30 over 30 here. Yeah, you could have took that, but I didn't see that. But if we go under, if we have a day back down, go back under 30, then get a higher low V1, V2 that gives us a higher low V2 entry and a move over 30 and being a higher low, that would be pretty sweet. So I'm definitely keeping my eyes on Apache. Bing He says, Greg, what's your target for UAL? There is major resistance at 2370. Let's take a look. So, okay. The way I would set this up for tomorrow, Bing He, is first of all, I have to look for what my intermediate term profit target is. Well, if I'm coming from a low 30s, my intermediate term profit target is going to be the 50 RSI. So right here, if I set this up for tomorrow, boom, that is going to be my intermediate term profit target. Just like on Apple, if it rejected the 50, I would go ahead and get out. Now I have to determine, hey, what is my ultimate profit target? Well, I could put the 50-day moving average up here. It's a little high. So, probably, I need an ultimate profit target so I can do my scaling out. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't want to have my ultimate profit target just barely above my intermediate term profit target. So this is what I would use as my ultimate profit target. I would use the third ATR channel because we know, right, that 92% of prices will not get above there. So 50 RSI is my intermediate term profit target, which is about $38. So, Bing He's saying, well, major resistance at 27, which it makes sense. It's the 10-day moving average, definitely could be. But my trade plan when I buy under 30s, over 30s is to look for a move up to the 50 RSI. Now, if I move more than one ATR channel away from my entry, which would be $6.55, then I would start trailing and I wouldn't have to hit the 50 RSI. So 655, right about here. If I get up to about right here, then I will start trailing my position. If it doesn't get up there, I will just continue to hold it until it does, or I have a small loss to the downside, which either of those possibilities. So my profit targets are a little wider than yours, Bing He, but doesn't mean mine are right. If it rejected the 10-day moving average and you decided to get out, that would be totally fine too, because that's your plan, right? Oh, Gamer got out of CCL. All right, nice, Dave. Congratulations. Congrats. Did you get out at the close? Okay. How about gold, huh? How about gold? Wow, look at the volume too. Bing He says, I set my target at -1 ATR for UAL. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, we could be in the same stock, have completely different trading plans, and they would all be valid. They would all be valid. Oh, on UAL, sorry. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, sure, -1 ATR definitely is resistance above. All right, everybody. Well, listen, I'm going to go out, brave the rain, take Katie for a little walk, grab some dinner. As sparse as it's been, I usually order my dinner from a restaurant and have it delivered, but because of what's going on, they are closed. So a lot of tuna fish, canned beans for my dinner. Not 5-star. I would not recommend it, but I'm happy with it. I think I've lost like 10 pounds through this because of that. And then I'm going to have my lesson tonight with Miko 25. So I'm looking forward to that. So, all right, listen, hey, before I leave, let me just let you off. Just please try to do something nice for somebody today. In the current situation, I know it's a little tough to do it physically, but, you know, give somebody a call, just check on them, see how they're doing, see how their family's doing, you know, let them know you're thinking about them, and really might brighten their day. And one day, maybe somebody will do it for you too, right? So let me just leave you off with that. Also, again, you know, if you like today's podcast, would appreciate if you hit the thumbs up button. So thank you all for coming. I always appreciate everybody being here. I always look forward to seeing everyone. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Be safe. Wash your hands, all that good stuff. Kamal says, thank you, Greg. Thank you, my friend. Miko, thanks, Greg. Talk to you later. Yes, sir. I will talk to you later. Mohammed, thanks, Greg. Have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you, Mohammed. Appreciate it, sir. Zach, thank you. And Binky, thanks. All right. Okay, well, listen, thanks for coming, everybody, and we shall see you tomorrow, hopefully, in the last hour of the day, and we'll see if we continue this up move, or if we go sideways, or if we give it all back. Who knows? We never know. We just know something's going to happen, that's for sure. All right, take care now. See you later. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit, No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.